Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. It has been a hot minute since I filmed a camera facing video, so this feels a little bit weird and I imagine it's going to take me a bit of getting used to, so pardon me as I try to navigate my way through filming a camera facing video again. Today's video is going to be like a manga haul, a collective haul. It's more than likely going to be my last one for the year 2024. I don't really see myself buying anything more, although from the last order that I placed there are some things that were on back order or out of stock, so I haven't received them. I'll still discuss them during the video so you know what I'm talking about, but I'll just go ahead and get started. If you've watched any of my collective haul or manga haul videos, you know I usually try to group things into sections. So the first section I'm going to talk about will be for the series that I was trying to collect this year, starting with Full Metal Alchemist. I was missing 2 volumes of the Full Metal editions and I have them right here with me, volumes 1 and 10. They still weren't available on the Crunchyroll store when I wanted to get them, but I can't remember what month this was now. And Amazon Prime was doing like a Prime dues or something like that, and I think I got this for buy one get one 50% off, I want to say, so I still got them for a pretty good price. And with that, I'm now done collecting Full Metal Alchemist, which I am very I screwed it up again. I am now done collecting Full Metal Alchemist, which I am very excited about. The next thing here is A Sign of Affection. It's an ongoing series, but I have it here. I haven't been reading it, but I've been trying to just keep collecting it because I'm sure at some point I'll be ready to catch up on everything that I've missed so far, and I'll just like to have all the volumes on hand. I also ordered volume 10, but it's one of the volumes that's on back order, so I don't have it right here with me, but probably by the next time I do a manga haul video, I will have the 10th volume. Then the very last series I was trying to collect this year will be Fruits Basket. I think I was planning to collect the collector's edition. I found the first 4 volumes at a local used bookstore at a really discounted price. I think I found them for like half the original price, and then the remaining 8 volumes I bought during a Black Friday sale. I think they were about 30% off, so that puts me at about $14 per volume. I think it was 30% off. I'll have to fact check that and confirm with you, but yeah, I think I would try to show each volume. And one thing I really like about the collector's edition of Fruits Basket are the covers of the spines. They are a nice pop of color without being like overly bright, and I just really like them. So that is volume 5, volume 6. I usually try to do an overlay to show all these volumes, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that this time, so just in case, I will take my time showing all of them right here in the video. That's volume 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, and then what I'm going to try to do is show you the nice colors on the spines of the volumes. Let's see if I can put all of them up. Yes, look at that. Isn't it lovely? I have a box in front of me here where I'm just going to drop everything as I talk through them, but because there's quite a bit of them in my hands right now, I'm going to have to bend down to drop them, so I'll be off screen for a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm back. What was I going to talk through next? Okay, the next thing I was going to talk through will be series that I'm either planning to collect or read in 2025, starting with Final of the Dawn. So I am all caught up with this series right now. Honestly, one of the best things I read this year. It's not like I wasn't already familiar with this series. I was familiar with it, but I think I stopped reading it around, I want to say like 2017, 2018-ish that I stopped reading it. I wasn't keeping up with updates, and my library had about 41 volumes, and I decided I was just going to read it through the library. Immediately got obsessed and told myself, yes, you are collecting this. So I was only able to pick up 5 volumes so far because it wasn't on my collection plan for 2024, but these were all on sale at Target. I picked up volumes, I want to say 41, 42, and 26 during Black Friday as well. They were doing a buy 2 get 1 free sale, and I think each volume came down to about $5 to $6 each with that sale. And then these 2 I randomly found discounted on Target as well. I probably picked them up for like $7. So those are the only 5 volumes that I have right now, but it's a series I will be trying to collect in 2025. The other 2 are also ongoing series. I haven't caught up to reading them yet, but I'm going to try to read them in 2025 as well. The first one being the _𝕍𝕍 Diaries. I already have some volumes of this on my shelf. I'm just gonna look. I have volumes 1, okay, just volume 1, and then I have a break there, and then I have volume 5 onwards, so volume 5 through 11 and 12 that I have with me here. And the idea around that was volumes 2 through 4 was already covered in the anime, so I didn't feel like it was important for me to buy it right now. And I'm going to try to read where the series stopped from the first season of the anime and get all caught up before we get into the second season of the anime. So that is the _𝕍𝕍 Diaries. And if I get a chance to do so next year, I will just go ahead and collect those 3 volumes that I'm missing in between the ones that I have right now. Just a second, I'm really thirsty, so I'm gonna have a sip of water. Okay, and I didn't show the covers, so I'm gonna pick them back up and show the covers. That is volume 11 and volume 12. The last one I have here is Skip and Loafer. I think it was last year that the anime for Skip and Loafer aired, and I didn't know anything about the series prior to that, but it was honestly one of the best things I watched last year. I fully intended to catch up on reading the series this year, but I didn't have a whole lot of it, and I just managed to pick it up again during the Black Friday sale. So I already have the first volume, and I picked up volumes 2 through 10. I don't have volumes 2 and 8 here. They were out of stock, and I think there was 1 volume that was on back order, so whenever it becomes available it will be shipped to me. But yeah, I am really looking forward to reading this. It is such an amazing coming of age story. I really loved watching this. It was just so wholesome while also doing a good job of teaching you life lessons, also helping you to reminisce about being in that stage of your life as a teenager. It's just such a lovely series, and I adore Mitsumi. I adore her. She's one of my favorite characters in manga in general. And then the last volume, 10. Okay, that is it for that section. I knew that was going to happen. What section was I going to talk through next? Okay, the section I'm talking through next will be series that I started reading this year and I plan to keep reading, so I picked up more volumes in those series. I'm going to start with the GL series that I recently did GL readathon on. I'm going to link that in the corner of this video if you're interested, so you can see what I'm talking about. But I tried the first volume of 6 series in that video, and I mentioned that I planned to keep reading exactly 4 of them, and I have them here with me. So Run Away With Me Girl is complete with only 3 volumes. That was my favorite of the bunch, so I've gone ahead to pick up the remaining 2 volumes of the series, and I am super excited to get into those. The covers are super lovely. They have this very muted palette and kind of whimsical fairy tale-esque art style on the covers that I just adore. Sorry, this one is wrapped so you can see the light reflecting off of it, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading that. Then I have The Summer You Were There. The remaining 3 series, I just picked the next 1 volume for all 3 of them to gauge my interest in the series, I guess. So this is volume 2 of The Summer You Were There. I think this is also a pretty short one. I can't remember how many volumes the series has. The Moon on a Rainy Night, this is an ongoing one, and I think we'll also be getting animated probably in 2025. I'm not sure when they said it was going to be getting animated, but this was another one that I really enjoyed and I look forward to reading. Also very beautiful art style, so that is the 2nd volume. It has a pretty dark color palette in comparison to the first volume of the series, which I actually still have here because I haven't cleared my desk of my TBR from the month I read it, so that's what that volume looks like. So yeah, pretty drastic difference between those 2. And then the last one here is Donuts Under a Crescent Moon. This is an office romance. Also super cozy while still addressing some really deep issues between, well, I think there's only one of the main characters that they really dived into some issues she was dealing with around like self-esteem, and it's not really clear that she is struggling with her sexuality. To her, at least, to the readers, I think that it is. So I kind of like the balance between her dealing with something possibly mentally and in terms of her self-esteem, while still having a very cozy relationship with one of her co-workers. So I'm really enjoying this one as well, and if the story is able to keep up the pacing that it had in the first volume, also the storytelling, I can definitely see myself continuing to read this one. I believe this is complete and also a pretty short series. I'm not sure. I'll do a fact check and put that information on the screen. Then I have Lullaby of the Dawn. This was a recommendation from, I don't know if this person is subscribed, but in one of my videos I had a comment where someone recommended this series to me, and I am so grateful for that recommendation. If you watch any of my videos and you have a book series, I read pretty much any genre that you think I'll be interested in, please recommend them to me. I've discovered so many amazing stories from recommendations, and this one was one of them. I only read it this year and I decided to start collecting it because I loved it so much. So I already have the first 3 volumes. This is volume 4 and this is volume 5. I've talked about it quite a bit in other videos, so I don't want to really go into talking about it here, but it is a fantasy-esque, well, it's not, there's no esque about it. It is a fantasy BL series that has really amazing world building, a little bit of a dystopian vibe, but initially when the story starts out, that's not where you think it's going. So when it does get to that point, it's kind of a plot twist, and the twist just keeps getting deeper, which is very interesting because it's a bit unexpected. So I'm enjoying this one. And then also one of my favorite reads of the year are Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide. I do not know where to begin with explaining how much I love this series. This is also BL, but it is slice of life about 2 boyfriends who decide to take a trip around the world and tell themselves that if they're able to make it back and they're still together, they're going to get married. But it is so beautifully written, the way they are exploring these different countries that they've never been to before, and just sharing the cultures while meeting people that are making very distinct changes in them personally, but also to their relationship, because as Japanese men, there is not a lot of openness to their relationship in public, maybe to each other, but also in secret, because there's only so much that they can do with friends, family, and just as a normal couple would. But in being able to venture outside of their bubble in Japan, they are what's the word I want to use here? Exposed. They are exposed to cultures where they are better embraced, and it is just such an eye-opening experience for them. You can just see the way that they grow, and it is such a wholesome series. I love this series so much. I definitely recommend that you give this a read if it sounds like something you'd be interested in. So that is why I've been picking that one up. The 5th volume is also out, but it's been out of stock everywhere that I've tried to pick it up from, so I don't have that right now. But once I find it available, I will definitely be picking that up. The 6th volume doesn't come out for a while, which I'm really sad about, but yeah. The next 2 here are series that I am also reading. The Summer Hikaru Died and Cherry Magic. I'm actually really mad at myself that I haven't read the 12th volume of Cherry Magic, because I feel like I've read so many good books this year, but this was also one of my favorite reads this year, manga-wise. And this is also BL. BL is not all I read, but I just happen to have a lot of favorite BLs that I've read this year, Cherry Magic being one of them. I will try to squeeze it in by the end of the year, but if that doesn't happen, I know I'm still going to get to it eventually. And then we have The Summer Hikaru Died. This is another one where the plot is really starting to thicken. I've read the first 3 volumes and I just need to get all caught up with volume 4. of the series. And then the last 3 I have here are webtoons that I've been collecting. 2 of them are complete series that I have already read, but I liked them. I really enjoyed them, so I'm collecting them physically because I can see myself rereading them. The first one of them being The Villainess Turns the Hourglass. I've talked about this series a whole lot. One of my favorite revenge webtoons. Highly recommend. It is such a good series. This is the 4th volume, and then the other one is the 3rd volume of Dangerous Convenience Store. This is super slutty BL manhwa, so just keep that in mind before you pick it up. And then the very last one here is The Remarried Empress. I think the webtoon of this is still ongoing. I haven't read it in quite a bit, but this is also another one of those series that whenever I get a chance to read it, I want to have enough of it on hand to just get all caught up with reading it, which I can do on the Webtoon app, but it's another series I can see myself rereading, so I like the idea of owning it physically. And then the very last section here, the books are starting to tip over, and it's making me nervous that they're all just going to tip over, so I have to hurry through this last section. This last section I'm sorry, this last section will be for series that were released, I want to say, in the last quarter of 2024. The first of those is My Beautiful Man. This is a BL series recommended by a lot of neutrals. I'm not very familiar with the series, but I picked up the first 2 volumes and I'm curious to get into that. So that is the first volume. And then the second, I'm just going to try to read through the back of the first volume real quick to see what it is about. So I think this is a high school setting. You have someone who looks like probably has a little bit of social anxiety, bottom of the social pyramid at school. And then his super popular classmates, their lives don't usually intersect, but they suddenly get a chance to grow closer to each other when he's made the popular group's gopher and he gets the popular guy's phone number. You know, the premise of this kind of has a twisted theme to it. I hope everything turns out well, seeing as it was recommended by mutuals. I hope they know enough about what I usually enjoy for this to be an enjoyable recommendation for me, but that is that. And I picked up the first omnibus of Red River. I've been really looking forward to this ever since we found out that it was getting printed, or is it reprinted? I believe this was a reprint, so yeah. Then I have Last Quarter, the first volume by Ai Yazawa. I'm trying to collect everything by this author that I can. If it's in English, even better. This is going to be a pretty short one. I don't remember that there was a whole lot to the series, so there will probably be 2 or 3 more volumes printed before the series is complete. And then I have a bunch of BL that I'm trying for the first time. This one is manga, After School Etude. I thought this was a one-shot, but looking at the cover now, I can see that it is a series. And I don't think I would have picked it up if I knew that it was a series. I'm interested in the story, sure, but I don't think I'm ready to commit to reading a series. But I already have it, so I'll probably just give that a read when I get a chance. The next 2 are webtoons, recommended by mutuals. I'm not very familiar with them, but the little that I've heard about them, I'm very curious about. The first one is Checkmate. These are BL webtoons, by the way. And then the second is Sanctify. They are both wrapped, so do with that whatever whatever you want. This is rated mature, 18 plus, and this is also rated mature, parental advisory, explicit content, of course. So yeah, those 2. The very last thing I have here is actually a book, but it is a book based on or is it the other way around? I think there is a webtoon or manhwa out right now. Okay, it's a manhwa. The author is Suji Kim, based on this series, and that will be Under the Oak Tree. I have been reading this since it came out, although I haven't read the most recent season of the series, and I do have to do that eventually. But this was honestly such an interesting license announcement. I wasn't expecting that they would decide to pick up both the physical print for the webtoon or manhwa, whatever you want to call it, as well as the novel. But I have the novel here with me because it is such a gorgeous book, and I'm just super excited about it because number one, it's gorgeous. It has sprayed edges. On the edge you have will you be able to read that? But it says, the first moment I saw you, I knew you would ruin me. And then another thing that I really like about it is it has like a cloth bookmark that you can use to mark your location in the book, and it just smells and looks really good. I love everything about this book. What is the series about? It kind of has if you read a lot of like stories with I cannot find the word, but basically this girl is from, wow, I can't find the words. I'm just going to take a break to think about what I want to say and then mash it with this video. Okay, this girl is from a noble family, and she's one of those kids like she was born with a stutter, and so she was neglected by her family. They didn't really put as much effort into her as they did her sister for that reason. And so when it came time to discuss her marriage prospects, they just kind of married her off to anyone, or at least what looks to it like anyone, to other people. But this person that they married her off to is like the warrior of the nation that the story is set in. He just won like a lot of battles for the nation and stuff like that. And the story starts out with her being married off to this person, but you can immediately tell that there's more to their story. The man seems to be really caring towards her, and also seems to have known of her before. Oh, you know what? I'm missing a whole lot of information, but look it up yourself. Let's wrap up the video here because obviously I did not prepare to do any of that. But whatever day you find yourself watching this, make it a great one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.